Whether it's bed rot, girl rot, brain rot, it's so cute to rot, but collectively, we all need to stop rotting. And specifically today, I'm going to talk about bed rotting, which is such an insane way to rest because it's not real rest, but our minds trick us into thinking that it is. Rest has to be intentional and a form of self care, and bed rotting is just the opposite of that. If you also catch yourself just getting locked to the couch and sitting there for hours on your phone or in your car, that's basically the same thing. Now that we're all here during a vacation break or rest day, whatever it is, that some of you might have the urge to start bed rotting. So I'm going to teach you guys exactly why we feel this way and how to get real rest. And if you do have to bed rot for a bit, how we can get a better experience out of it and eventually stop doing it altogether. This is what my channel is all about. It's all about improving yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually. So if you're along for the ride, you can like this video if you found it helpful and subscribe to my channel. We're at the home stretch of the year right now, and I was inspired because I've been feeling a lot of stress from the holidays actually, and my bed is starting to look extremely attractive because I've been here before. I know exactly what it looks like and how this starts. So instead of giving into it, I'm gonna do something productive about it for all of us and make a video about it instead. I like to think of bed rotting as a slow unaliving. That's what rotting is, right? When you're in that mode, your brain is going to convince you that it's fine and you can keep doing this. It's actually also a symptom of depression. So what this actually is something called functional freeze. Your body or your mind is forcing you to shut down as a result of either burnout, massive stress, or even just the stress of not knowing what you're supposed to be doing. Some people can be high functioning, so you could be going to work or school or socializing normally, but then when you're alone, that's when it creeps back in. It's a mental, physical, and emotional state where you feel overwhelmed and you can't even do simple things, or that you're doing stuff, but you feel like that numbness, like your heart just isn't in it. It's not a weakness, but rather your body is trying to protect you. But even though it's not a weakness, it's still a symptom of depression. It's still not productive or a good use of your time. Sometimes this can happen the time of the year as well as the season, whether it's really cold or you're not getting a lot of sunlight, or you're in a chaotic family environment, the holidays stressing you out. Whatever the cause is, feeling dysfunctional freeze or bed rotting is going to rob you of a lot of time. And sometimes it will even affect your physical health because it affects a lot of things in your life. But whatever state that you're in, the general rule is we need to do something to snap out of it, but gradually in tiny steps. Trust me, I know how impossible it feels to just snap out of it. So do one thing that can help you get out of bed at least. And one example is to eat something. So recently I started to try out Factor's ready to eat meals, which takes all the complicated meal planning and wondering what I'm gonna eat and battling with whether I'm going to order more junk food again out of my day. And that has saved me so much time and energy. I don't have to stress out anymore about going to the supermarket and prep food and wash the dishes. I forget about doing all that stuff. Instead, all I have to do is to go on Factor and get a subscription of chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered straight to my door, and I have good, solid meals on hand that are ready to eat in 2 minutes. There's a variety of over 35 meals every week to choose from. And if you're on any kind of specific food plan, they have options like Calorie Smart, plant-based, vegetarian, and more. So if you can barely function today, these meals are actually easier to prepare than making instant ramen, for example, and faster too. And they're fresh, they're never frozen, and well portioned. So you just know that no matter what, at least you're making a good choice for your health that's very delicious and also restaurant quality. They have a very flexible subscription plan, so I can easily adjust how many meals I want delivered, or even be able to skip a week if I have something coming up. If you purchase from my link, you get to support my channel directly, plus you can get 50% off and free shipping on your first Factor box using my link. So click on the description or scan the QR code with your phone. Thanks to Factor for sponsoring this video. Sometimes if we have an all or nothing approach and work non-stop and we don't take breaks, it will eventually catch up to us, not in the way that we want, which is exactly what bed rotting looks like. So you might as well learn how to do it on your own terms. We all need more rest in order to function. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but stay with me. Try to make the mental switch from resting is useless and lazy to resting is useful and it's a requirement. The more well rested you are, the better quality the rest of your day will be. Literally, if you read the Bible, even God rested after his work. So rest is extremely valid. You see what I mean? Even God isn't constantly grinding. And that's how the guilt happens. I find that we feel guilty with bed rotting because it's our bodies trying to rest, but our minds are not resting. Something needs to change. And sometimes it's also our body's way of literally seeking comfort and safety. Maybe some of us are trying to get more of those feelings through our actions and we're trying to compensate for something that we're lacking. But it doesn't work like that because our minds need rest too. Another switch that you should make is to stop associating your bed with literally everything. Only use your bed for sleep and rest. That's it. Even if you don't have a lot of space in your bedroom, you can still always get off the bed. When I had a tiny bedroom, I used to love using my mattress as a desk while I sit on the pillows on the floor or dedicate a cozy corner in the bedroom to put down some blankets. Or eventually, you can even get a desk to study at. But this distinction really helped me a lot with bed rotting, only associating my bed for resting and nothing else. If I need rest, I go to bed and I lay down for 20 minutes while I listen to some guided meditation audio. I also have a rule that I don't use social media in bed. I don't check emails, I don't check my text messages. All I use my phone for in bed is to play music and audiobooks and set my alarm clock. If I want to scroll on my phone, I will have to leave the bedroom or at least get off the bed. Some people have a rule of having no screens at all in bed, but I'm not so hardcore like that. Although blue light also really messes with our circadian rhythm, so it's definitely not a good thing to be scrolling in bed anyway. We also need to learn how to snap out of the rut. If you find yourself chronically rotting in bed, then no matter how you feel about it, try and do something else in order to get out of bed. The very worst case scenario is that doing these things suck and you go right back to bed. But at least you would have done one thing that's good for you. Taking care of your body is so important. Even if it's just going outside and getting a few minutes of fresh air, it would still be a very good thing to do. I love at least getting a bit of sun every day. If there's a ray of sunshine in the window and it's nice out, I'll just chill by the window in the sun. Or even better yet, if I have a spot in bed where there's some sunlight, I'll go and lay there. Occupying yourself with things that you enjoy doing, especially hobbies or even small non-capitalistic responsibilities, and having things to take care of and things to do, like taking care of your house plants and taking care of your pets, where they need your care, they need your attention. And it's an equal exchange of energy because personally, my cats really took care of me and healed me too. My pets have no idea what they've done for me. It's just like how I'm the biggest part of their lives, they're also the biggest part of my life. And my houseplants too, apparently they can recognize their owner from a mile away, and you can form relationships with your houseplants. And these are very healing relationships because it has nothing to do with other people, it has nothing to do with any kind of life stuff. It's just you and your pets and your houseplants. You can even have a relationship with soft toys. Some people have and collect a lot of plushies, and it gives their inner child comfort, and that's totally fine. Do something for yourself that will also change your state physically, like have some chewing gum, drink some water, go wash your face, brush your teeth, take a shower, or put on something comfy, or maybe even like moisturize and do your skincare routine and put on some perfume. Basically, anything that will help you feel less tired and less gross. Personally, for me, when I look good, I feel good and I don't feel gross. And by the way, you're also more likely to binge or eat junk food if you already feel gross physically. Our minds are constantly reinforcing how we feel, and we're constantly seeking out vibrations that align with where we are and what we're feeling. So in order to break out of that alignment, we need to switch up the vibes a bit. And being able to express yourself, like crying out your frustrations, is also really great. Screaming into a pillow, that's my favorite. It's so nice to be able to feel what you're going through, and it will make you feel better. Doesn't matter if it feels silly, your body needs that emotional release. And chances are, if you're locked in your bedroom, it's just you and your pillow to scream into, which is great. This is especially so healing if we grew up with parents who tell us not to cry and to hold it in. It's not healthy to suppress it. Sometimes we need that emotional release. And then after that, when you're done, you can take a nice warm shower and do some nice self-care grooming. Doesn't that sound so cozy and sweet? If you feel uncomfortable in your clothes, sometimes I find that getting out of pajamas and wearing workout clothes really works. It holds everything down. It's got this nice compression effect. But if you feel most comfortable in a snuggie, that works too. I don't have a snuggie. I have this nice bathrobe that I wear, this satin bathrobe, and it's pretty comfortable. But also, even without the clothes, you can also do other things like move around on a computer chair and like spin around a bit. Even anything, any kind of movement in the limited range can still give your body some activity and snap you out of that bed rotting mode. And we need that physical movement to shake out the feelings of bed rot. Eventually, you may even have to relearn how to hear your brain telling you to get up. Maybe you can start by fidgeting or doing Pilates in bed. On that topic, I would also randomly burst out into Pilates moves. And then the next thing you know, I'll be putting on my sneakers and taking a walk around the block. You can also put on your favorite songs and just move to it, dance, whatever it feels like, anything that feels good. You can even throw some pillows around. There's also a big difference between physical rest, mental rest, and sensory rest. So try and learn how to tell them apart. I usually can tell if I'm mentally exhausted, for example, by asking myself, do I want to read a book? If the answer is no, I'm probably mentally exhausted. You will have your own systems for figuring this out, but if your exhaustion is not physical, then you should get up and move. You can literally rest your mind, just by moving. For example, if you did some work on the computer or in bed, your mind and your senses are probably very busy, but your body is not. Because if you're lying down all day, you've been resting all day. So taking a walk around the block will help your mind rest while it motivates your body. So taking a walk around the block, like I mentioned earlier, will help your mind rest while it activates your body. And it's good to then do something else that's kind of equally mindless, like washing the dishes after being at the computer for a few hours. And if you even want to have a more creative form of rest, you can even paint with watercolor or sketch on your iPad or knit or crochet, something that you don't have to think too much about. Or even just following a yoga workout on YouTube or doing some active stretching. There's always something you can do to switch things up for yourself. Even if it means forcing yourself to drink a whole bottle of water so you have to get up later to pee. That one is my personal favorite trick for getting out of bed because you kind of have to go. But identifying the different types of rest that I might need has been super helpful for me with getting out of bed rotting and functional freeze. Because sometimes it's not always physical rest, sometimes it's mental rest. And usually that means you gotta get off your phone and learning different ways to ground yourself. That's what it's all about, and changing your state and getting busy doing something. But most importantly, you are making a very clear distinction and creating rules for what you do in bed. Like with my rules, right? Only using my bed for sleeping and for rest. Real rest, not bed rotting. And I know many people see this as constant go, 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 especially with hustle culture and self-improvement journeys all the time, but it's not true. Sometimes you just have to take a few days of doing nothing before you have the inspiration to do something. And then when you get into that mode, you can get into total flow mode where nothing can stop you and you're in the zone. While yes, you have to have discipline, but also we need to show up with different energies depending on where our body's at and where our mind's at. Rest is so fundamental, but I also understand the guilt around not doing enough. Compartmentalizing my feelings helps me quite a bit, knowing when it's time to do something, even when you don't feel like it. That means you're literally putting your feelings in a box and you're like, I'll take care of you later. And when you do the thing, it's going to be hard for a little bit, but then when it's done, you get to rest, and you get to rest however you want. We're all human. You always have your good days and your bad days and your can't do anything days. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to say the wrong thing, and not everyone you meet is going to like you, whatever. Whatever it is that sends you into that bed rot moment, all that matters is, honestly, is that you're trying your best, and I'm proud of you for watching this video and also seeking the first steps towards feeling better. And yeah, I really do hope that you're feeling better, and thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you to Factor for sponsoring, and I'll see you in the next video.